snack. Me and you gonna have a little chat about books. Hi guys, so today I want to do a kind of Kindle tour update for you guys. I did one a while ago and there's been quite a few books that I've purchased on my Kindle that you guys haven't seen me talk about yet that I just want to let you know. So this is kind of a Kindle haul. So let's get started. So please do let me know if you guys have read any of these books and if they are worth reading soon, because I never really show you guys these, so I would love to hear if there are any that I should immediately read that I am just missing out for not reading them. Let me know down below. So the first one that I have is White Cat by Holly Black. I've had this for a little while now and I don't really know anything much about it, but I've heard really good things about Holly Black. I have read some of her books, but I didn't really enjoy them. The Tithe and all of those ones. I'll put a picture up so you guys see. Yeah, I didn't really enjoy them, so I haven't got around to White Cat, but I've heard that White Cat is one of her better ones, so is that true? I don't know. Please do let me know what you think. Next, I have Dark Eden by Chris Beckett. This was actually recommended an awful long time ago by Mercedes at Mercy's Bookish Musing, and she said she really enjoyed it, so I bought it at the time, and I just haven't got around to it. I've heard very good things from her about it. I know that she really enjoyed it, and I'm interested to kind of see what it's all about. The cover looks really, really pretty and beautiful, so that's always a good thing, and I'm just intrigued by this one, but again, I don't really know too much about it. Next, I have Assassin's Apprentice, which is by Robin Hobb. This one, again, I've never read any Robin Hobb. I do have the Farseer trilogy, which is behind me on the shelf, and I do want to read some of her work, but I just haven't got around to it yet. I'm sure that in the next month or so I probably will end up picking up at least one of her books, whether it's on my Kindle or not, because I know she's meant to be really, really good, and I don't know why I haven't read anything by her yet, even though I own it, so I don't know. But I'm going to, I promise. Next, I have Graveminder, which is by Melissa Marr. This book I've had for ages as well. I've heard good things about Melissa Marr too, and I really love the cover of this. I think it's so pretty, so I'm sure that it's going to be amazing when I finally get around to it. Next, I have Life of Pi. Life of Pi was obviously made into a film like last year or maybe the year before, and I did see the film, and I think that's what's putting me off actually reading it, is the fact that I've already seen the film, so I already kind of know what happens. But maybe if I give it like another year, I'll kind of forget a little bit more about what happened, and therefore I will be more inclined to read the book. I don't know. We'll see. Next, I have The Anniversary of the Veil, book number 1, which is Protector, and this is by Vanna Smith. I really don't know anything about this. I can't remember if I got this really, really cheap or if it was a free one, but I've had it on my Kindle for absolutely ages, and I would love to know if any of you guys have read it, because I really don't know anything about it, and I don't think I've heard anyone talk about it, so I just haven't really felt inclined to pick it up yet. Then I have Fall of Angels, book 1, which is called Branded, and is by Kerry Taylor? I'm not sure how you say that. But the cover on this is gorgeous, and I am intrigued by this, mainly for the cover and the fact that it's always being kind of publicised by Amazon. Whenever I go on, it's always sort of being highly publicised by them, so is this a really good book that I'm missing out on? I don't know, it might be. Next, I have Before I Go to Sleep, which is by S.J. Watson, and two of my friends from college, they said that they loved this book, and I have been meaning to read it for absolutely ages, but it just didn't really sound quite like my thing, so I don't know. I probably will enjoy it when I actually manage to force myself to get around to it, but it's like everything. There are always more books that are in front of it, so unless someone really gives me the push to do it, I'm not going to read them for a while. So again, let me know if you really enjoyed that. I know that this one is a really, really popular one and a lot of people do enjoy it. Then I have June by Frank Herbert, which I saw on someone's channel but I can't remember who, and I was instantly intrigued, and I really, really want to give this a go because I've heard that June is like a classic and I know that it's meant to be really, really good. So yeah, definitely that is going to happen sometime soon. Maybe this year, I don't know, sometime soon. Then I have a lot of Neil Gaiman books on my Kindle because there was a deal that happened a while ago about kind of getting about 6 of them for £1 each or something, so I just bought a load because I really love Neil Gaiman. And so I have American Gods, Smoke and Mirrors, Annecy Boys and Neverwhere, and I haven't read any of them yet, but I definitely will be reading them soon because they sound amazing and I really have enjoyed everything I've read by him so far, so I just don't know why I haven't got around to them. I think it is a case of them being on my Kindle rather than on my bookshelf because I always kind of forget all my Kindle books are on there, but I am really excited for these, so these will definitely be happening sometime this year, at least some of them, I'm sure, because I do want to read more Gaiman this year. Then I have The Passage, which is by Justin Cronin, and I've heard amazing things about this. I know that loads of people really enjoy it, and I think it's actually quite a long book as well, so I'm definitely interested to kind of sink my teeth into that at some point fairly soon, because like I say, every time I go into Waterstones or WH Smith's, I always see it, and it always looks really exciting, and I need to get to it. I've got too many books to get to, so again, let me know if you really want me to read that sometime soon. Next I have The Heroes, which is by Joe Abercrombie. This is a book that I've had for a while, since I actually started reading his first little series. I got this at the same sort of time, and I am interested to start it, but I do want to finish the first little series first so that I'm not getting confused with the two series in my mind. So that's the reason I haven't started that one. An actual valid reason, yay! Then I have The Heresy Within, which again I've heard really good things about, and this is by Rob J. Hayes. And I don't know why I haven't got to this either, because this one sounds like it would kind of be quite what I like, and I do know that a lot of people have enjoyed this in the past, so I am interested in this one, and it's definitely one that is on my radar and I will be reading it at some point. Then I have Graceling by Kirsten Kashaw. I know that a month or so ago a lot of people did a read-along for this, and I did want to join in on that, but I just couldn't find the time. The covers are stunning, so I really do want to get on board with this and sort of start getting into it. Then I have Written, which is by Ben Galley. This one I've heard not really anything about, but I do like the cover, and it was mainly for the cover that I bought it, because I thought it was really pretty and the typography was just beautiful, so that's the main reason. It does have a fantasy feeling from the cover, so I hope that it is actually a fantasy and that I will enjoy it when I get around to it. Then I have The Testing by Joelle Charbonneau, or Charbonnet, I'm not really sure how to say that, but I've heard good things about this. Again, I can't remember whose channel I saw it on, but someone or a couple of channels were talking about this. It sounds like a quite fast dystopian kind of thing, so I've been really enjoying dystopian at the moment, and I think that it will be fun when I get to it. Then I have Breathe, which is by Sarah Crossan, and this one has been on there for ages. I love the cover, which is the main reason I got it. Again, I do believe that this is a YA read, so it's quite fast-paced, I believe, and I do know that a lot of people have rated it fairly high and do enjoy it, and I do want to get on board with this soon. Then I have Daughter of the Forest by Juliette Marillier, which I know is meant to be amazing, and I got this because I already told you guys in my last unboxing that I wanted to try out new female authors, or authors who write fantasy and are female, because I haven't really had that many, and so I bought this at the same sort of time because getting the Kindle book was a lot cheaper than getting the physical copy, so I've got this because of that, and I know that it's meant to be really good. Another one that I got for the same reason is Jenny Wirtz's The Curse of the Mistrath, which again I got because she's a female fantasy author who I've never read and heard good things about. So yeah, definitely excited for the two of them, and I do intend to get to them in the next few months because I do actually really enjoy reading off of my Kindle. I know that a lot of people prefer the physical books, but I honestly don't mind whether I'm reading a physical book or a Kindle book, so really exciting. Then I have The End of Mr. Y, which again I've heard good things about. Traitor's Blade, which is by Sebastian D. Castell, and I've heard good things about this, and I'm intrigued by this. I don't really know too much about it. Next I have What's Left of Me by Kat Zhang, another kind of YA one that I really don't know all that much about, but I keep seeing everywhere, and I love the design of the cover, the faces. I think that's really well thought out and very ingenious. And the final three books, which are my most recent purchases, so the ones that I actually kind of know a little bit about. Unfettered, which is Tales by Masters of Fantasy, and this is an anthology which I've really been getting into a lot more recently, and this anthology includes work by Robert Jordan and Brandon Sanderson. Let's be honest, that's the main reason I got it. Patrick Rothfuss, who is amazing. Peter V. Brett, another one of my favourite authors, Mark Lawrence, who I have just recently read Prince of Thorns by and really enjoyed, Terry Brooks, who I've never actually read anything by but I've heard very good things about, Naomi Novik, who I don't really know anything about her, I don't think I've ever heard of her before, maybe I'm being clueless, I don't know, and Michael J. Sullivan, who again I've heard good things about but haven't actually read any of his work. So I'm excited by this series. It sounds like there's a lot of interesting and really cool people who have been part of this project, and I definitely want to get into that soon. Then I have the Booksplosion Book of the Month, which is The Warrior Heir and is by Cinda Williams Chima, and I do have a book on my shelf which is called The Demon King, which is by Cinda Williams Chima, and I kind of started it and then forgot about it and didn't really get into it. But The Warrior Heir I have started and I am getting into, so I am enjoying it and I'm hoping it'll be good the whole way through. I'm not that far through it yet. The final book that I got very recently, maybe 2 days ago, is Shadows Beneath, and this is another anthology which involves 4 different authors. One of them is Brandon Sanderson, and then Mary Robinette Cowell, Dan Wells and Howard Taylor. And basically they have a podcast where they talk about writing tips, and they made up the idea to write an anthology together. They came up with a brainstorming session on their podcast for each of their stories, and then they went away and they wrote them all down and did all the edits, and they came together again at the end, put them all together and put them into a book. I was really excited when I heard this because, well, mainly for the Brandon Sanderson one because I'd never heard of the other 3, but I was excited because I thought that they were going to be really interesting, and because also they've included all sorts of extra things. It is more of an anthology for people who want to write, and so they have included their first drafts and they've included the edits so you can see what they edited each time that they handed in a new draft of their story, and they've also included notes and things like that about their editing process and what they thought of as they were editing and so on. So it's quite interesting from that point of view, and even though I'm not currently a writer, I want to be in the future, and I really admire Brandon Sanderson's work especially, but I think it's going to be really interesting to kind of see how everything evolved from the starting idea to the final finished project which was polished. So definitely excited for that, and I am currently reading that, and I'm about 20% of the way through, so I'm enjoying it a lot, and Brandon Sanderson's story definitely seems good, and the other 3, they were okay. Definitely I'll be doing a review of that fairly soon, so look out for that. So please do let me know if there are any of these books that I have got on my Kindle hiding away and that I really need to get around to. That's not all of the books on my Kindle at all, it's just a selection of the ones that I have not read and really should have, because a lot of them are very well known. And I would love to hear what you guys want me to pick up out of that collection for next month's TBR, because that would really help me out and give me an idea of where to begin. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all very soon in my next video. Bye! Me and you gonna have a little